Today, we're going to be going over a beginner's guide for Silver and Blood. This is going to be specifically for my free-to-play players because I'm going to be free-to-play. And not only that, though, I'll be giving you guys my thoughts and impressions. I played the game for over 6 hours. I can tell you that my experience so far has been very good. The only issue is that this game does take quite a bit of time, and the dailies, I would say, would take you 30 minutes to an hour to finish if you're not doing the story. Let me explain. So the game actually has a lot of content, a lot of content. You can do Infinite Abyss, which is your tower pusher climber, clear more floors, get more experience. Blood Arena, which is PvP. Time War Mausoleum, which is more like your Arknight's tower defense. Backpack Battler, and then you have Tomb of the Fallen. Now, a couple of things I do want to go into that I like is that number one, you have a AFK Shadow or AFK Arena type of resource where every 13 to 14 hours your resources refilled to full. This is going to be your main way to be able to get resources. So what that means as a beginner, you want to push this as hard as you can with the story and get this as high level as possible. So you want to go through the story as fast as possible to make it so that you get the most amount of resources until you get capped in terms of the story. Now when it comes to the story and also levels, you have here Transfusion. A big thing that you're probably wondering is how do I get my characters all the level that's the highest without spending a ton of resources? So Transfusion is very nice because you can select your 5 characters that have the highest level, and out of the 5, the lowest level out of these 5, you can add 5 more characters here. The reason why that's so important is it saves you a lot of resources from having to level up everybody, but here's the con of it all. The con of it all is duplicates. The game is centered around getting duplicates. So my max level right now that I could get my Augustine to is level 120 because I was able to get a duplicate. The max level that I can get Jaegercell to is level 80 because I have no duplicates. But then the max level I can get Iona to is level 160 because I have max duplicates. So you're probably wondering, should I technically then have my SRs here, get them to level 160s, and then slot in 5 SSRs to get them to all level 60? The answer is no. The reason why I say no is because it takes a lot of resources to get your characters all the way to level 160. These extra slots right here cost 500 in-game currency, which is not cheap. The moon tier is 500. 300 is a single pull. 500 unlocks the slot. So if you were going to use 5 SRs here, you're going to lose 5 slots. So that's about 2,500 that you have to spend on top to basically get yourself to have 10 characters of SSRs. Whereas if you just have 5 characters SSR here and then 5 characters SSR here, you'll save yourself 2,500. Is that what I recommend? Yes. The reason being is the game is actually pretty generous with its pull rate when you go over to the Embrace, because if I say go over here, you'll see that SSRs have a 4% rate to drop. Which is really good. The only issue is there's so many SSRs, like a lot of SSRs, which makes it pretty hard for you to be able to get dupes of the character you're specifically looking for. Now, not only that though, there are other ways to get characters. So here, there's these perfect shards. If I have 50 of them, I can get myself a random unit of this type. So I can spend 2,000 of these lovely spirit caps. Now, spirit caps you get from pulling duplicates on the gacha pulls. And you can go in here and you can purchase it. And then I get 5 heads. Now, the issue is that you can also go for the cheaper ones, the advanced shards, but the issue with advanced shards is you have the potential to pull an SR. Don't bother wasting your currency on this. Don't bother gambling. Just don't bother buying this. Buy this.
Were the previous items not to your liking?
You can also gain SSR characters here with blood shops.
Were the previous
With these items here, you can also get other characters right here. These are all SSR characters, and it's a great way for you to be able to get these units up to their tier 3 break. So these are characters that you can get the pulls, but you just need to get more of these currencies.
Were the previous
there's a ton of other stuff that you can buy, but for the most stuff, those are the main things that you want to consider. There's obviously going to be a lot of game modes that you can play, but those are going to be the main ones that you want to focus on. Now, tier lists, characters, power ranking. Do you want to take a look at tier lists, and do you want to take a look at power rankings and pull for specific characters and reroll? I'm only going to say no, because for you to reroll, it will take you about 40 minutes, I want to say, of gameplay to get to the point where it makes sense for you to reroll. But the game just gives you so much gacha pulls as you progress through the story that it's almost just really not worth it to do rerolls. It almost feels like it's just not worth it. The reason why is I'll show you. If I go into Infinite Abyss, I will show you a team that is free to play and technically pay to win. Okay, so the team that I'm first going to use is this team right here. Yeah, this team right here is going to be a team where all these characters are free to play. You get them their SRs, and this is floor 22. Right? She's an assassin. She goes to the back line, kills people in the back. And this is just the free to play team. Everyone's level 20. No one has any of their skills leveled up. And as you can see, my frontline units are taking a lot of damage, 50% HP, almost like dead. He dies. She's full health. And okay, yeah. We lost one character with our free-to-play team. If I min-max and I just play the game not on auto, I would do a little bit better. Now, here's the thing. Let's just use my pay-to-win team, quote-unquote. My quote-unquote pay-to-win team, as in the team that I'm going to use with all my 5 stars. So we'll put him here, her there, Augustine, Amy. Alright. So we'll do it like that. So the strategy that I like to use is Hati. She's an assassin. She can dive to the back line and start smacking people in the back. Augustine here, I like him because he has a blitzcrank hook, or like a hook where he can pull the backline unit to the front. So if there's a mage, a healer, or whatever, he yoinks them up to the front. She's a supporter. He's my tank healer. And then she's my AoE mage damage, right? That's basically it. But you can kind of see with a stronger character, this is going to be a lot easier. So I have no dedicated healer. I just have my tank healer. And the tank healer, honestly speaking, is already going to be good enough. They're all level 40, by the way. Everyone's still relatively full health. My healer just used his heal skill. And as you can see, everyone's basically at full health. So having SSR units definitely makes the game a lot more easier. If you're only using the free units, you're going to find that, yes, you can still push through the content, but you're going to have to put in more work to be able to get the same amount of results. So is this game a little bit pay to win? Yes, but free to play, you can definitely still go there. So what can you do in order to progress your account as fast as possible to gain the most amount of resource to be able to make it so that your account is good? So obviously, go through the gameplay, push this as hard as you can. This is going to be the #1 determinator of just getting your account strong. Second thing is obviously characters, but you have no control over the characters that you can get, right? Obviously, there are certain characters that are pretty standout. Some people say that Van Helsing's very good. Lamia is very good. You know, a lot of units and characters that people say are very good just from looking at their numbers and how they play, which is fair. I personally would just say pick characters that, #1, that you have and you like, and they can make a solid team comp around. Just like with my team right now, I have a very specific strategy for these 5 characters here. He's tank healer. He pulls the backline in and assassinates. She's an assassin. She jumps to the backline and assassinates. AoE mage, support. Tank healer. And that's a pretty solid team comp right there. Are these units meta? Hard to say, because there's definitely units out there that are better than these for sure. And as the game continues to update itself, you're going to get new and more broken characters. So in terms of overall tier list and units, just pick whatever you like playing that makes sense to you. If you want to do Unga Bunga big damage with a tank, healer and 4 damage dealers with AoE mage and blow up a ton of arena, great. If you want to build a team specifically for single target boss damage, that's also great. The game's going to require you to have a lot of characters because there's going to be different content where different teams perform well. There's going to be content where AoE is better. There's going to be content where having a single target DPS is better. There's going to be content where you want to be able to snipe out the backline, so having a technical team like this is better, okay? So I wouldn't worry too much about tier lists. Obviously, you don't want to be wasting resources, but the game is very good because, like I said, you have Transfusion, where you can have 5 of your units here, bring everybody else's level up, and you can always swap characters in and out through here. Obviously, there's a cooldown of 4 hours, but that's a small price to be able to play. And to end off the video, we'll go and do some pulls. Let's go over here. We're going to hit the 10 pull here and see if we can get Lamia. We'll try. We'll try to get Lamia, but the issue is that unless I get 3 copies of her, it honestly feels like it's not worth it. Because I need to have 3 copies to the limit breaker, and if she's not maxed out, there's no point. Oh. Unlucky. So 2 hammers means that I didn't get anything good. Yeah, so as you can see right here, didn't get anything good. Everything got converted into my currency. But what that means is I can just go over here to the shop,
Welcome.
go down here to the perfect shards, purchase.
This is a fine
How many do we have? 42.
Please come again.
And that's basically going to be your main gameplay loop. So is this a game that I would recommend to people? I would say yes. The voice acting, the story, the gameplay is actually all very nice. It's pretty casual in the sense I could just sit back AFK and let the gameplay play itself. And if I encounter harder content, I can manually take over and actually plan out the battles and push content hard that way. This game here is a very well-produced gacha. It's relatively free to play friendly, but for you to be able to compete and do well long term, you actually need to spend a lot of time in the game. Just a lot of time in the game. So if you have a lot of time in the game, I would definitely play this game. This game is definitely more on the medium to high end for time investments, at least in the very beginning. I'm sure once you get to a point when you're at end game, then time investment would be a lot quicker because you'll be able to punch through content a lot easier and not have to worry about all the stuff like pushing the story and farming everything. However, let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think. I'll continue playing the game for a little bit longer. I'll kind of push through it, do the dailies, try to push through the story as much as possible, and then we're going to kind of see what will happen. I'll probably play this game a little bit more, and I'll give you a final conclusion on the process a little bit later. As usual, I have a Discord community in the description down below, so make sure you join that. We specifically play a lot of gachas, but we focus more on Olympus Company. But yeah, that's basically the video. Anyways, John Panio signing out. Let me know what you guys think about the game. Are you guys enjoying it? And then we'll kind of go from there. John Panio signing out. Enjoy the rest of the day. Bye-bye for now.